Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be making some keto sugar cookies. And I knew that this holiday season I want to be making some sugar cookies. We've always made them like every year at our house. It's just kind of a tradition. So I wanted to try to make a healthy version that tasted really good and very similar. Let's go ahead and not waste any time and get started on the recipe. First thing I'm going to do actually is preheat our oven. We're going to do 350 degrees Fahrenheit. First we're going to get our dry ingredients all mixed up. So I already have 3 cups of almond flour, and then we're going to add to that 3 tablespoons of arrowroot powder. And then I also already measured out, it's a whole teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and then a little 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to just mix that up together. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. I already went ahead and put 3/4 cup of ghee in the freezer so it is nice and firm. And I'm just gonna cut it with this little knife into little cubes. Into our bowl it goes. And my ghee got a little cold in the freezer, so if it gets a little too cold, sometimes I like to blend it by itself for a little bit, and then I'll add the sugar or everything just kind of goes flying. Okay, so I think our ghee is finally at the texture. It was very cold because it was in the freezer for a while. I can go ahead and add our ground up monk fruit or Lakanto. They're basically the same thing, just use whichever one you prefer. And also these cute little bowls I'm using, my grandma got these for me. So thank you, Grandma. It was a little early Christmas present. And now we will cream these together. So this is pretty much creamed, but I'm gonna go ahead and add in our vanilla extract. And we're gonna do a whole tablespoon of vanilla. Oh my gosh. This is a new thing of vanilla, and it will not open. Jen, do you think you can open this vanilla? So, tablespoon of that. And I wanted to use, or show you guys, these new little I got new measuring cups for my birthday, because I just had a birthday recently. So I wanted to use one going in. And I love vanilla. Okay, cream that together now. So at this point, we're just gonna add some of our flour. Let's go ahead and dump half of it in, and then we'll add in our eggs, so kind of alternating with those 2 things there. And I'm just doing this part at low too, so we don't over mix. I can do the one-handed crack. All right. Like with all sugar cookie dough, we're gonna go ahead and stick this in the fridge to chill a bit so that we can roll it out all right and then cut out the shapes. Okay, so our dough has chilled for a bit. I switched the camera angle so that you can see everything. I just have a piece of parchment paper here. I already have our little cookie sheet lined with this little silicone pad. And then I have a little bit of arrowroot powder here too to help with this cooking. Just kind of sprinkle some of that, put it on the surface as well. I don't know if I let this get cold enough, but I'm just impatient, so we'll see. So we're gonna go ahead and flatten that out. Oh, and hope it doesn't stick. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but I actually moved the dough to the freezer so that it would be more chilled, because it wasn't really getting, well, one, because I was impatient, it wasn't getting cold enough in the fridge, but I feel like it'd be best to keep it in the freezer because it does cool down. That butter or ghee melts really fast. And then for the cookie cutters, I have this little stocking, gingerbread man, and then of course a Christmas tree. So we're just gonna go ahead and of course you have to give them that jiggle. I sometimes just like to use the spatula too to get the dough to work fast, and be careful too. Oh no. This is what happens when your dough is too soft. Try to get these up. Okay, that one made it. All right, guys, 3 made it. This new dough from the freezer here feels a lot more firm. We'll have to try to get 2 gingerbread men to make up for the one we lost. Rest in peace, little guy. gosh. Why am I having so much trouble with him? Maybe I can patch him up. Okay, so we have our first little tray here ready. And we're gonna pop this in the oven for about 10 minutes, I believe is how long I did it, but I'll always let you guys know, of course. So from here, I probably won't show any more footage because I'm just gonna be cutting out the rest of the dough and putting it on the trays. So I will see you when we are ready to make the frosting. Okay, so the cookies are now all out of the oven and they're cooling, and we're gonna work on our frosting. It's a pretty simple recipe, but it's delicious, trust me. First thing we're going to do is, of course, cream our butter or ghee, and then the powdered monk fruit. And I have half a cup, guys, half a cup. Like you can't see that. There we go. And then 2 cups of the ground monk fruit. And then we'll go ahead and cream those together. This is a lot of sugar, so I would start it out on low and then increase the speed. So I just mixed it around a tiny bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and add in the vanilla. I'm gonna start with 1.5 tablespoons of it. Just adding a little liquid so that the powdered sugar won't fly everywhere. And then we'll go ahead and cream now. I did not get a big enough bowl, So our butter and sugar and vanilla are all creamed really well, and we're gonna go ahead and add our cashew butter in. I feel like I said that weird. It's like cashew. I actually make my own cashew butter just using cashews and coconut oil, and I made it pretty thick. Also, last time I made this, it did not get blended completely well, so some of the chunks got caught in the little piping tip. So this time I strained it. So it is so incredibly smooth. I just don't know if you can see the texture. And this is 2/3 cup. You want a thicker cashew butter. That way it goes with the texture of the frosting. And we'll just mix that together and it will be all ready. Scrape that down. I think last time I made this, my cashew butter was runnier. I think I might add some coconut milk just to get it a little bit smoother, because that is gonna be too thick to pipe. But yeah, I feel like every time you make frosting, the measurements always do vary a little bit. I think I'm gonna start out with let's just do 2 tablespoons to be safe. Okay, that looks a lot more pipeable now. I have a little surprise, so let me run and grab that real quick. Okay, so I wanted to have some pink dye for the sugar cookies. So I made some. So what I did was I got 2 beets, chopped them up in pieces, put them in my little Vitamix with a little bit of water and blended that up. And then we have this little mesh strainer, and I just kind of put it through that just to get the liquid out. And then I put it in a little saucepan and put that on low for about an hour just to reduce till it got nice and syrupy. And then it came out pink like this. I was going to do some white frosting, but that vanilla was pretty dark. Guys, just watch. Let's just watch. This is so pretty. This is a 1/2 teaspoon here. I guess we'll start out with that much. Look how pretty that is. Okay. I might try to make one lighter than this one and then one a little darker. I think I'm just gonna do 2 shades because I didn't care for the light pink. So I'll finish just playing around with these, mixing them up, and then I'll be back once I have them in their piping tips, and then we're ready to decorate. Okay guys, so we are in the dining room right now. Me and my sister are getting ready to frost these cookies. So these are how they turned out. We just put them in these little piping bags with little star tips on them. We are just gonna start decorating now and having fun with these. Yeah, we'll just speed through and enjoy us frosting cookies. Let's go.
I actually like this. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. You like this? Does not look very pretty.
We'll put yours in the food pile.
Let me see this.
Will it? No, I don't know why I'm laughing, but It kind of looked like it had a face.
What do you think?
I love it.
It's a clown cookie.
Duh. So we are probably done frosting cookies for tonight. So to show a few that I did here, and we'll take pictures of them tomorrow.
This one is yours too.
Yeah, I have,
And then
this
I ate
one's
one.
mine. She already ate the other one that she did, but these are the ones she
It was
frosted.
ugly.
Our frosting is getting melty. Obviously it's keto, it's not the same as like other frostings, so you have to work quickly with it. Anyway, so we're gonna put these in the fridge. We'll probably finish frosting tomorrow, and then also when we make the ice cream, we'll do that tomorrow as well, because it just got too late today. Yeah, it'll be a long while for me, but it'll just be a YouTube second for you guys. Okay, bye. Wave. Okay guys, so it is a brand new day. I'm all fresh and ready to go. As you can see, this morning I decorated those cookies. I got them all finished. I really like how they turned out. The frosting was just perfect, and I love, love, love the colors. Now we can work on the ice cream part. I'm gonna go ahead and get you caught up on how I made the ice cream base. I actually filmed this yesterday morning, if that tells you how long I was filming yesterday. Let me go ahead and walk you through the recipe. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do for the ice cream base, we're gonna put the saucepan on our stove, and we're gonna open up our 2 coconut cream cans, pour one in and then about half of the other, and let that heat up. And while we're waiting for it to kind of get bubbles around the edges, we're going to start mixing all of our other ingredients in a small bowl. And to start out, we're doing 6 egg yolks. Okay, this is what's gonna make our little custard so creamy and thick, and just the texture of delicious vanilla ice cream. And I'm just separating them all. I like to do that with my hands. You can do it in between the shells if you don't want them to get as nasty. We're gonna dump in the rest of that coconut milk from our can, 3/4 cup of ground monk fruit, a tablespoon of arrowroot flour, a tablespoon of vanilla extract, and then something I added to this vanilla ice cream that I don't normally put in it is a 1/3 cup of cashew butter. And I wanted to try that in the ice cream because for some reason when I think of sugar cookies, I think of cashew butter. Not sure why, but I thought it would kind of help make it a little bit more sweet and creamy, but I wasn't sure. So I have made this recipe before, so if it turns out disgusting, I'll just omit that from the recipe when I write it down below for you guys. By this time, our stuff on the stove is probably heated up. So you'll see on the edges, it's gonna start to like bubble a bit. We're gonna take that off the stove, and with 1 cup measuring cup, we're gonna scoop and start drizzling it into our eggs. This is gonna temper them, kind of bring them up to the heat they're supposed to be, so we don't end up with scrambled eggs. And then we're gonna pour that back into our pan, again, whisking constantly. This is definitely a very time-sensitive thing. So one suggestion I will have is when you're making ice cream, make sure that everything is out and in its station, so that you can just really not have to be like, where's my spatula? Let me get this out. It's just all set up. So go through the recipe, get everything out and in its place. So once it's back in the pan, we're gonna put it back on the stove at that, again, medium heat. And then we're just going to whisk, again, constantly whisking so we don't get scrambled eggs, till it starts to thicken. And with custards, sometimes you think, is it working? Is it working? Usually it's like it'll be thin, the same texture it was, right up until it's thick. So usually that's about 6 minutes. For me, it was on minute 7 when it started to get thick and look right. And as you can see, I just swipe my finger and that's how thick it'll look. It kind of coats the back of the spoon a lot more. So now that that's done, we're going to quickly bring that over. We'll already have our ice bath prepared, so I just put some ice and water in a large bowl. And then I have another bowl in there with the strainer on top. So that is already set up again, so we can just quickly move. We're gonna pour that into the little strainer and then just keep whisking that till all of the ice cream custard in there is completely cold, usually that's when you'll stop seeing like the steam come up, and then I just stick my finger in to make sure it's room temperature. It's not like it has to be cold, but you just don't want it to be hot anymore to where it'll cook. This recipe is a little bit of a labor of love, but it's so worth it, guys, because I was never happy with other paleo ice creams that I've seen like on Pinterest and stuff. I just thought they don't really taste that much like ice cream. It kind of tastes like a healthy alternative. So adding like the eggs and stuff and doing all that, it makes it that much closer to the original thing. So I think I've mentioned everything. Oh, one thing I forgot. After we're done, we'll put the plastic wrap on and press it to the top once it's all cooled, and then stick it in the refrigerator for at least 3 hours or overnight, as I did. Obviously, it's a new day. So that should be everything with the ice cream day. Before I put that in and start blending, because that's gonna be a little loud, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the cookies that I have prepared from yesterday. So these, I have a few that didn't have enough frosting for them because I had to save some for the ice cream, and then a few that have frosting on them, but they weren't my favorites. They're just not the prettiest. So I'm gonna chop these up into little pieces real quick. It's kind of sad chopping this up, it feels wrong. Okay, so this is what the little cookie crumbs look like in there. I think I'm gonna move you over a bit so you can see me kind of pour the ice cream in there. So, just gonna remove that. Oh my gosh, guys, too. This is so thick today, too. Look at that. Oh my gosh, let me see. It's a little bit bright, I apologize. I was editing this video yesterday. I'm sorry about the quality, guys. I am still trying to find a good setup for the kitchen. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this on. There we go. And pour our ice cream base in. Show you that. So I'm gonna go ahead and set our timer for 30 minutes on there for the ice cream to churn. So then once that's done, we'll come back and we'll get all the toppings ready to put in there. Okay, so there's probably about 5 more minutes left on this timer here. The ice cream is looking pretty firm. So we're gonna go ahead, let me turn this on. We're gonna go ahead and add in our toppings. I've already set aside a few just for the top for presentation. And then I have some in here, so we're gonna go ahead and dump some of our cookies in there. I don't know if we'll need all of these, but yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and dump them all in. Okay, and then while it's going, once those have mixed in, I'm gonna kind of squeeze these in so that we kind of get frosting ribbons and it doesn't get completely mixed together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna save a little bit of frosting as well for the presentation. Okay. Oh my gosh. Went ahead and got my ice cream bowl out of the freezer here. I always like to do that so that it doesn't completely melt when I'm taking it out. So let's see how that mixed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a little bit on the inside that didn't get completely mixed, so we'll just do that by hand. Hang on, it might be a little too bright. Hopefully you can see that better now. It's hard to get the lighting just right. So I'm gonna add a few of our little cookie crumbs on top. How yummy does that look, if I do say so myself. I'm just going to stick this in the freezer for it to get firm. Usually I like to leave it in there for about half an hour. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, so we are at the end of the video now. Our ice cream is done. It was in the freezer for about 30 minutes. I just like it to get a little hard. So I'll be scooping this and getting lots of pretty pictures. And then of course, our cookies are all done. We have them right right here.
Good job.
It's still okay though. Anyway, gonna go ahead and give Jennifer a bite to taste it for us and rate it on a scale
It's
of
like
1.
ginormous.
You have to have a big bite so you can taste it.
So I can just like have a big.
I want you to rate it on a scale from 1 to
No,
10.
seriously, I'm not.
For,
That's like 3 bites in one thing.
that's like a small
Okay.
bite for me. Anyway, she's gonna rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, rating presentation, taste, and the fact that it's healthy, or a junky dessert made healthy.
You didn't tell me about that.
Well, yeah, just taking all those things into consideration. This video is already really long, so if you could just...
It's delicious. I mean, your stuff is like always a 10. So,
I'll take it.
my thumb of approval.
Okay, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up because of just how stinking long it took to film this. Do you want to just like take this and leave? Because of how long it took to film, definitely try this recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Christmas sugar cookie ice cream. I will see you guys in next week's video that I post. Bye!